What is up, motherfucker? Okay, yeah, this give me my little quick picks for Royval versus Taira. It's going to be a lot shorter. I had to go over this really quick, so extra quick picks this week. But this card should be a lot of fun. I actually really like Apex cards compared to most people. So, yeah. Let's get into it. We're starting off the card with Clayton Carpenter versus Lucas Rocha. I don't know what's up with Carpenter's activity. He fights like once a year for some reason. It's unfortunate because he fights pretty good, great wrestling, sticks to a game plan. He beat Edgar Chairez on the Contender Series pretty convincingly too, which is a pretty tough opponent. 28 years old, 7-0 undefeated. Taking on Lucas Roca, 17-1, also hasn't fought in about a year. Very powerful for a flyweight. Has 10 TKOs on the regional scene, one on the Contender Series, which was a beautiful knee to the chin of his opponent, showed his power. He is very hittable, though. And I think he will be taken down by Clayton Carpenter. Not too confident, but I'm going to go with Carpenter on this. Probably a wrestle-heavy decision. Lucas Rocha is tough, and I think he will hang in there. And it's a tough fight to call, but I'm going to go slight lean Clayton Carpenter, probably by decision. There's a bit of value on the dog in this one, though. Oh, he has a lot more experience. Okay, Cody Haddon versus Dan Argueta. I don't like to touch UFC debuts, and I won't, at least for betting on this, but I think Cody Haddon should probably beat Dan Argueta. I haven't been too impressed how Dan Argueta's looked in the UFC. Cody Haddon is only 17-1. His only loss is being to Steve Erceg, which is fucking not a bad guy to lose to, honestly. His fight on the Contender Series was against Billy Brand, who also had his only loss that guy had was to Peyton Talbot prior to losing to Cody Haddon by a submission in the first round. Dan Argueta has not been KO'd yet in his career. I think Cody Haddon, it is maybe there's a chance he does have good power, but I see more of the submission happening. So I think I'm going to go with Cody Haddon inside the distance. Yeah. But we do see a lot of fraud checks in UFC debuts. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. Chris Barnett versus Junior Tafra. I heard the line opened at like -700 for Barnett, which is fucking crazy. But I think I think he's definitely got a chance in this fight. Tafra's very fast. He can be taken down very easy. I've noticed in the UFC, and when you get taken down and you got Beast Boy on top of you, he's going to be landing some nice ground and pound. It's pretty crazy the skills Barnett possesses, being 5'9", very heavy set. He missed weight his last fight. He was over the heavyweight limit. Low confidence, Chris Barnett. Themba Gorimbo versus Nico Price. Themba is getting some good training in with a lot of great fighters, Colby Covington, and his gas tank is improving. He's found his power when he knocked out Pete Rodriguez. Pete Rodriguez is a low level, but yeah, this will be definitely Themba's best opponent to date. Nico Price is really good. The chin is deteriorating a little bit on him, but held up his fight against Morono. That was a very weird fight against Morono. He did look good against him, but Morono looked like way worse than he usually does. Morono's on this card later, and I'll talk about him. But Nico Price and fuck it. They do both have consistency issues, which is tough to bet on. But I will go with Themba to win this fight. I'm going to say I want to say KO, but I think I'll go with the decision. Good story behind Themba Gorimbo. He went from nothing to accomplishing his UFC dream, so that's cool. Okay, Jonathan Pierce versus Pat Sabatini. Both great grapplers. A fight I've been going back and forth on. Difficult picking this one. I could see Sabatini submitting Pierce, I'm thinking. But then I think standing Pierce could win pretty easy. He did pretty well against Brito until he told him to get up and do something and got submitted. But he is not a quitter. Against David Onama, did not stop his takedowns, even though David Onama was getting out of them pretty often. I think he's going to have a takedown. He had a takedown heavy game plan in that fight. And yeah, Sabatini's chin is very questionable. I could see him getting KO'd. I think I'm going to go with the low confidence KO Jonathan Pierce. Vergara versus Ramazan Tamirov. It is Tamirov's debut in the UFC, but fought in another good promotion, Risen. And I guess UFC liked him because after his 2 first-round TKOs on it, he's debuting in the UFC against a tough opponent. I think he will win, but CJ Vergara won't quit. He will keep trying. Good hands, loves to brawl, except that one time Lacerda got him pretty good, and he ran around the cage. And yeah, I don't like picking debuts, but I'll be going with Tamirov. Okay, Josh Frem versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. He's coming off a no contest after smoking Cody Brundage in the first round, but landed some shots to the back of the head, and Brundage could not continue. He's won all his fights by knockout, and Josh Frem is chinny and likes to brawl, which is not a good idea with Razak. KO round 1 or 2 for Razak. I also didn't like the way he looked against Andre Petrosky. Couldn't do fucking shit against him. And just most of his fights, his fight against, what was it, Trayshawn Gore, that was nasty. He looked good until he got that submitted and almost got his head pulled off. Corey McKenna versus Julia Palostri, both coming off losses. Palostri is coming off a loss to the incredibly talented Josephine Knutson, but looked good in the fight and had some good moments. And McKenna coming off a loss to Jacqueline Amorim, who has great jiu-jitsu. I'm surprised with the odds in this fight. I think that's why I might be going with McKenna. Reason I'm going with her is I think she's very well-rounded, and I think standing it's gonna be better, but we'll see. I think I could see like a split decision in this fight, and like I'm not too good on picking women's fights anyway, so don't tail this one. I'm gonna go with Corey McKenna. I would no way bet on it. Okay, Grant Glass Dawson versus Rafa. Grant Dawson versus Rafa Garcia. Rafa is definitely a lot more fun to watch. He has great jiu-jitsu, but Grant Dawson's wrestling is definitely top tier. And Rafa doesn't have like the greatest KO power. I'd be less confident in Grant Dawson in this fight if he did. But Grant Dawson, WrestleFuck, heavy decision, unanimous. Brad Tavares versus Young Park. Fuck's sakes. A fight I'm like really 50-50 on. I'm going to go with Park. This is quick picks. I'm not going to go break down it too much, but Tavares is losing now lately by like knockouts. I don't think Park has the KO power to put him away, but we'll see. Also, Tavares has never been submitted, which is Park is going to be going for. I am surprised with the odds. I think Park will win this by decision. Low confidence, like Brad Tavares is a vet in the UFC. He's had a ton of fights. Yeah, who knows? Okay, Brandon Royval versus Tatsuro Taira. This might be some bias, because I love Brandon Royval's fights. Great scrambling ability, never quits, super dangerous. This is Tatsuro Taira's toughest test. Alex Perez before is also super good. He snapped his leg when he had the back of him. I think Perez might have a round on Tatsuro Taira, but it was a 5-round fight. I remember his fight with Edgar Chairez. He got into some dangerous situations, and I think if that happened again, Royval will capitalize on it. Taira has a good chin, best Japanese prospect in the UFC right now. I do like both these guys. I think this step up is way too huge. Like Royval is just he's in the top 5 for a reason. Great fighter, super dangerous. I'm gonna go with Brandon Royval to get this done. Did I miss some fights? Anyway, I just did this like really quick because I want to at least get the video out there. I don't want to skip a week, and I'll try and be more prepared for next week.